Welcome to KBM Sports Talks. I'm Kevin, and today we're going to talk about the FCS College Football Playoff. There's 16 teams, and that means there's 8 games, and all 8 games get played this Saturday, April 24th. All now one day. So it is like March Madness, but with college football. And then there's a lot of great games to talk about, and we're going to talk about all of them, and I'm going to give you my prediction and my reaction to the seeding and the games. So first, let's go with the top 4 seeds. Let's go from 4 to 1. So getting the 4th overall seed in the FCS playoff this year is Jacksonville State. And honestly, they deserve that. They've had a great year. They've played the most games out of everyone. They are 9-2. So they deserve that. 3rd seed is James Madison. This was the surprise to me. I thought James Madison was the number 1 seed all year. They were the number 1 seed all year in the rankings. And then out of nowhere in this, they put them 3rd. So I understand it because who have they played? So I was kind of surprised they put them 3. Number 2, Sam Houston. They deserve that. They have dominated everybody this year. Everyone they have played, they have dominated. It hasn't been close. When they played Nichols, they destroyed Nichols by, I think it was 3 TDs. TDs are touchdowns. And then we go to the number 1 overall seed in the whole bracket. And it is not North Dakota State, South Dakota State is the number 1 overall seed in this bracket. And the Jackrabbits, Adam Vinatieri's team, deserve that. I was caught off guard, but they deserve that. Good for them that they got the number 1 seed. That was the number 1 seeds, and now let's get into the games. So we'll go with the first off, the number 1 overall team. Their first game is against Holy Cross, and that is gonna be probably an underrated game. People are gonna put South Dakota State winning. I think South Dakota State is gonna win. Yes, I do think that. But I think that no one's gonna give the credit to Holy Cross. I will not be surprised if Holy Cross upsets them. Because Holy Cross, watching them, their defense is stifling. They are very aggressive on defense. They're very impressive on defense. And their quarterback, Sluka, he's a freshman. And he can run, he can pass. He's future of Holy Cross. And we have teams that are led by freshman quarterbacks that have led them to their conference championships and have led them to the FCS playoff. Holy Cross is one of those teams, and Holy Cross has a defense that is going to surprise people. Because I watched that Bucknell game, and their defense was disgusting against them. Everything they did was defense. The offense, it needs to be more consistent and gotta get a little bit more bigger plays. That's the only thing. But South Dakota State, they're no slouch. They're number 1 team for a reason. They beat North Dakota State. They've beaten teams by a good margin. They aren't a slouch. I think South Dakota State is going to beat Holy Cross, but it's going to be a great game. So, the winner of the South Dakota State versus Holy Cross game will play against the winner of this game, which is Southern Illinois versus Weber State, or Weber State. Either or. Yes, I know Southern Illinois upset Goliath this year in North Dakota State. But I don't think that they can go and beat Weber State. I believe that Weber State is going to beat Southern Illinois. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a shootout. But I think that Weber State is going to beat them because Weber State is just, when they get to the FCS playoffs, they just go. And with Constantine playing the way he's playing, and Josh Davis and Chris Jackson in the as their running backs, that duo is just going to pound on Southern Illinois' defense. I don't think Southern Illinois has what it takes to beat Weber State. But what do I know? Because Southern Illinois went and beat North Dakota State this year. So they could go on this Cinderella run. But I just don't think, I think Weber State is going to beat Southern Illinois. And I believe that Weber State will go and play South Dakota State in the quarterfinals. Now we go to the bottom left of the bracket. We have Delaware Blue Hens versus Sacred Heart Pioneers. This game is the last game of the day. It's a 7 o'clock, Saturday, April 24th. In my opinion, I do not think this is going to be a good game. I think Sacred Heart is a one-man team. Julius Chestnut is their only player. He has 1,000 yards already, or this whole season. 1,000 yards, 11 TDs, in only 4 games. It's 1,000 yards. He is dominating, but that is their only thing that is pushing them to get to the top. They're 3-1. They won the NEC division. They beat Duquesne. They revenged that loss they had in the beginning of the year to them. But Delaware is on a tear. They are led by Dijon Lee, running back, their captain, who has 498 yards this year. 5 TDs. I know that's not a lot. They're 5-0. So they played 5 games. And he is dominated. Their team is, their offense is a beautiful mix of passing and running. Dijon Lee at running back. Nolan Henderson at QB. They have scored 30 points in every single one of their games. They scored over 30 points in every single one of their games, except for one, and they got 27 points, so they were 3 points off from 30. They have won 37-0 against Maine, 31-3 against Stony Brook, 35-21 Rhode Island, and 34-14 against their state rivals, Delaware State. They have dominated everybody except for Villanova, which was a 27-20 victory. They still won. They have dominated everybody. I believe that they're going to dominate Sacred Heart too. I think they're going to shut down Julius Chestnut, and then Sacred Heart is not going to have nobody else to go to. And it's just not going to be a good game at all. I just believe that it's not going to be a good game at all. Delaware is going to beat them and move on. And now we go to the number 4 seed. Jacksonville State will play against Davidson. Jacksonville State won the Ohio Valley Conference, and Davidson won the Pioneer Conference. Davidson is 4-2. Jacksonville State has the most games played for an FCS team, which is 11, and they are 9-2. Their only 2 losses came to at Florida State, which was a 41-24 loss, but it's Florida State. And then they lost to Austin Peay, 13-10. That's the only losses. One you can't even count because it's Florida State. It's a FBS school, and they're in the Power 5 conference. They are a good team. Jacksonville State is led by Webb, West, and Samuel. Webb is the quarterback. West and Samuel are the running back duo. They have a good mixture. I haven't seen a lot of their games, honestly. I have not seen a lot. I've seen probably one. And they looked great. They deserve that 4 seed overall nationally. There's a reason why. And there's a reason why they're 9-2. They're a good team. Davidson, they are 4-2. Like I said earlier, they have lost to Elon and Presbyterian. They are coming off of a loss going into this. They lost to Presbyterian 29-24, but it's kind of weird because they beat Presbyterian 41-24 in the beginning of the year, and now they've lost. So right now their energy is low. But in a way, they could be they're probably angry. They're coming off a loss. They're hungry because they want to get that revenge that loss. They want to prove that, okay, yes, we did lose, but we want to revenge that loss. But in my opinion, I don't think that they're going to be able to. I think Jacksonville State is just going to beat Davidson. Honestly, I do not think it will be a great game. It may be a decent game, but I don't think it's going to be a good game. I think this part of the bracket, it's not going to be great games until the quarterfinals when we get Delaware versus Jacksonville State. That's my prediction for this. It will be Delaware versus Jacksonville State in the quarterfinals in the bottom left of the bracket. But we will see. Who knows? Maybe we get Sacred Heart versus Davidson. Who knows? But I personally think that it will be Jacksonville State versus Delaware. So now we are on to the other side of the bracket. And this side of the bracket is stacked. It is going to be great games. I don't think none of these games are going to be blowouts. I think there's some that potentially could be blowouts. But I think every single game is going to be a close game on this side of the bracket. And we start off upper right part of the bracket, which is number 3 overall, James Madison versus VMI. James Madison won the CAA South. They're 5-0. VMI won the SoCon Conference, 6-1 record. James Madison was ranked first all throughout the year, and James Madison's season has been up and down. They've had a lot of postponements. They've had 4 postponements in total. So they've had a crazy season like everybody else, but theirs has been a little bit more because they've had a lot of postponements. James Madison is led by a core trio of 3 seniors: quarterback Cole Johnson, running backs Piercy, I won't say your last name, I'll say Piercy A.O. So I can't say your name and I don't want to butcher it, and Jawan Hamilton. Those 3 players right there is James Madison's offense. Cole has been struggling, but their running backs could take the load off of him. Now we go to VMI. VMI is another one of those teams that is led by a freshman quarterback. Yes, I know that he came in midway through the year. He's only played in 3 games. They were led by Reese Udinsky. He left after the 4th game to go to Maryland. Congratulations to him. But after he left, people were like, oh no, this is not good. Who's going to be the quarterback? Well, Seth Morgan. I have done an interview with him. So I hope you guys should check that out. I will leave the link in the bio. He comes in 3 games. He has 3 games left to prove. He wins 2 out of the 3. He lost to Eastern Tennessee. It's okay. But he's had 1,088 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That is phenomenal for a freshman to come in and do that. And he led them to the SoCon Conference Championship, and he's led them to the FCS Playoffs. So they have a great future with Seth Morgan. Do I think they have enough to beat James Madison? I do not know. I personally don't think they do. I don't want to say that. But I think James Madison will pull off the win. But I will not be surprised at all if VMI does upset them. I'm hoping VMI does. I really do want VMI. But I think James Madison is going to move on. It's going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch it. So now we go to the second game of the upper right hand part of the bracket. we have Missouri State versus North Dakota. Missouri State won the Missouri Valley with a 5-4 record, and North Dakota State came third in the Missouri Valley. So we have a Missouri Valley matchup, and with this matchup, these two were supposed to play during the year, but it got canceled. So now they get to play each other. And I think personally, looking at Missouri State's record and their schedule and stuff that teams they played against, I know that it's part of the same teams, but what I'm seeing is I believe that North Dakota is going to beat Missouri State because of the team. Missouri State, yes, they're good. Yes, I know they've won the Missouri Valley. That's a hard one to win. But North Dakota is coming off of it has been on a roll. They've caught a little bit of fire. They caught fire they're another team that was led by a freshman quarterback. Tommy Schuster is a freshman quarterback in the hardest FCS conference in America. The Missouri Valley Football Conference is the hardest conference in FCS football. And he led them to a 4-1 record. And their only loss was a blowout loss to North Dakota State. And North Dakota State is North Dakota State. They're Alabama of FCS football. So I think they're going to beat Missouri State. I think it's going to be probably a good game, but I think this does have a potential to be a blowout. But North Dakota is very young. They have a lot of promise and a lot of future. Literally, their top 3 stars, Tommy Schuster, Otis Way, Garrett Mag, freshman, sophomore, and junior. That's young. So they have a lot of the future, and I think that they're going to move on to play James Madison. And now we are down to the last 2 games in the first round. And this game is probably the best game out of every single game. It is going to be a battle. It's going to be high scoring. It's not going to be a very defensive game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a shootout. We have North Dakota State, the Juggernaut, versus Eastern Washington. Wow, this game shouldn't be a first round matchup. This is going to be, you're going to have a power go down right away after this. And then North Dakota State is 6-2. They finished third in the Missouri Valley. And Eastern Washington is 5-1, finished second in the Big Sky. Both of these teams are great. They're great teams. North Dakota State has beaten, yes, I know they lost. The 2 games that they lost were blowouts. And the games that they won were blowouts. But the only thing I've been questioning is North Dakota State's quarterback situation. That's the only thing I have a question for. What is going on with them? Is Zeb Nolan there? Is it Cam Miller? Who is it? Who is going to be their starter? Because that's the only problem I see. And that's the only way I see them losing. And I think that Eastern Washington is going to beat North Dakota State because Eastern Washington is more consistent and they're set. They know what they have. It's a senior team. Their top offensive players are all seniors. Quarterback is senior. Eric Barrier. Running back, Tamarik Pierce. Senior wide receiver, Talulu Lemu Johnson. Senior. They're all seniors. They know what it takes to get into the next couple rounds. North Dakota State, yes, they do, because it's North Dakota State. They know how to get there, but the biggest position on a football team is quarterback. They are confused with the quarterback. They don't know what they want yet. And their quarterbacks are too inconsistent. So I say Eastern Washington pulls it off because watching North Dakota State last game, they didn't look good. I think Eastern Washington moves on. Now we are down to our last game of the first round. We have Monmouth versus number 2 Sam Houston. This game, from what Monmouth did last game against Kenesaw State, if Monmouth comes out and plays like that, This game is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be just like the Eastern Washington North Dakota State game. It's gonna be a high-scoring affair, and any game Sam Houston plays in is a high-scoring affair. So I think that is going to be a great game. Personally, I am 50-50 on this game. I think Sam Houston, but what I've seen from Monmouth makes me be like, can they pull out this upset? Monmouth did win the Big South, and Sam Houston won the Southland. I know that probably don't mean nothing, but looking at Monmouth's resume, they're 3-0. Yes, they've only played 3 games, and Sam Houston's 6-0. So these two teams are undefeated. I know 3-0. Oh yeah, I know, but I just see they're too close for me. And I know most people be like, oh, it's going to be Sam Houston. But I don't think so. I think Monmouth is going to pull the upset off. Because they just beat Kennesaw State 42-17. Kennesaw State ain't no pushover. They were in the top 10. And Monmouth beat them. So I believe that Monmouth is going to beat Sam Houston. And go on to play Eastern Washington in the second round. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What is your guys' prediction for the FCS playoff? Do you guys agree with me, disagree? You know what you guys think in the comments. What are your predictions? Because I want to know. Do you think Sam Houston will beat Monmouth? Do you think VMI will upset James Madison? What do you guys think? And are you guys excited for this Saturday, April 24th? I am, because how can you not be? It's March Madness, but for college football. Yes, I know maybe a couple games may be blowouts, but it's football, people. And we get that in spring, something that we haven't had in a long time, or ever, I don't believe. So I'm taking it. I can't wait to watch it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, like, subscribe, comment. My Twitter and Instagram will be linked in the bio. Go follow those, please. Until next time, see you.